Hey everybody, it's Darkslayer from DarkslayerTV, and I am casting a StarCraft 2 match. That is correct, I'm getting back into casting. I have casted several games so far, and I'll tell you what, I might be a little bit rusty, but I actually had a lot of fun. So expect more games showing up on my YouTube channel. The games I have casted so far were live streamed. They won't show up on my channel, but if you do want to check those out, you can always head over to Twitch TV/DarkslayerTV to find all those replays, and maybe you might even be able to find me streaming, which I do on a pretty often basis. But who better to start casting with, at least for my channel, than EGHuK? That is correct. I will be casting HuK right here on Antiga Shipyard versus a very, very well-known and amazing Terran, MKP or Marine King Prime, starting down here on the bottom left side of Antiga Shipyard. Now, this is replays from the MLG Winter Arena. I believe this is right before. I don't think this is the losers bracket. I may be wrong. However, I won't be casting all the games from MLG, so I guess where I got it doesn't necessarily matter, like what part of the bracket. All we know is this is a best of 3 between MKP and HuK, and it's going to be one hell of a game. Both these players known for absolutely amazing micro. HuK even considered top 3 control, at least he was there for a while. However, lately, I'll be honest, I haven't seen HuK win too many tournaments, or come close, to be completely honest. However, he did qualify for the WCS, so that says something. But he did fall short to... Oh man, who did he fall to? I'm not 100% sure who it was. I think it was a Zerg, though. I wouldn't be surprised. No, it was Grubby. Yeah, in his group he lost to Grubby, and I didn't actually catch the second game. But there was actually an amazing pylon placement in that game. HuK placed it right in the middle of Grubby's base, and Grubby completely missed it, did a warp in, and took Grubby off the map. But anyways, back to this game. HuK's probe, always so pesky. HuK is actually known for his probe control during the middle of the beginning of the game. He'll get in here and cause as much damage as possible. As you can see, he's even going for the SCV that's trying to build the command center on the low ground. And whoa, we have 2 probes and a zealot moving out, making their way across the map right now. Is HuK going for a 4-gate? He does have some chrono boost saved up, but he isn't chronoing into the cyber. So I don't know about a 4-gate. Maybe it was a little bit of a misclick, because 2 of the probes are making their way back. I think it was a bit of a misclick. However, the Zealot is making its way across the map right now, and if we look into MKP's base, he does have 3 racks up and an expansion, so we're going to be seeing very, very heavy bio play coming in from MKP. And what's the Zealot going to be able to do? He's going to come up here, the supply depot is to go up, and MKP does build that second one, so there's no chance the Zealot's going to do anything. However, this one Zealot has one hell of a task. He was ordered to take down that CC by himself. However, it wasn't going to happen. MKP said no, sent his Marines down there, and the Zealot was like, oh, okay, and left. However, the Stalker is going to join up with the Zealot, and it can cause some trouble for these Marines. However, microed correctly, it's going to be very difficult to take out all these Marines, because they are stutter stepping forward like a bouse, doing tons of damage, taking out that Zealot, and now that Stalker is going to be forced to sit back and wait. HuK does have his expansion starting to go up. And if we look into the main base of EGHuK in the production chat, we do see a Twilight Council is down. So we could be seeing some kind of blink play coming in from HuK. However, we do have 2 gases taken, and depending on when he takes these gases, it may be a High Templar play instead of a blink play. Check out the Marine positioning from MKP on his ramp. In case that Stalker does try to step up, he will have a perfect concave and maybe even take out that Stalker. We do have the SCV moving forward to go ahead and put up that bunker. And if we look in the production tab, we do see stims on the way for MKP and a factory finally being placed down. However, it will probably be sent over to HuK's base just to get that scouting information, because Siege isn't really used very much in APVT. And EGHuK actually setting up quite a few proxy pylons right now and a DT shrine. That is right, EGHuK has placed down a Dark Templar shrine right here. So are we going to be seeing some sneaky DTs going in to MKP's base? We even have the Stalkers being warped in, and they do they have Blink? Let me see. No, they don't have Blink, so that Twilight Council was for the sole purpose of DTs. And EGHuK with these forward pylons, he's even going to move up the ramp. Well, he decides to. He started to go for it. Decided to call back. He hasn't seen this bunker yet. He doesn't know what the fortification is on the top of this ramp. But you would... Oh, even taking out the critter there. That poor little robot. And the Dark Shrine is about to finish. So what are we going to be seeing from EGHuK? He's throwing down the extra 2 gases, and the DT Shrine has finished, and 2 Dark Templar are on their way, warping into the 3rd base of MKP. And here they go, making their way down the ramp, and here we go. They're going to start making their way up to the fortifications of MKP. One does slip by. Does MKP see it? One of the DTs is right by all the Marines, and one of them's heading straight for the SCVs. The DT tries to go up. However, the supply depots do... oh no! One of them was lowered. And as you can see, this DT's... killing lots of SCVs in the natural, and this DT is going straight for the main. We got to go to the workers tab. We can see he's already up to 6 worker kills, and that DT was scanned and finished off, and the one in the base is still going at full force, but a scan will get that DT eliminated. And 2 DTs killed off a total of 7 workers, and during that time there was a small gateway force that pushed up the ramp here to try to take out this bunker, and it may just die. It has very low HP and it does go down. However, there's too many Marines, and EGHuK is going to have to back off right here. If we look over into the main base of EGHuK, he just now got these gases saturated. He was focused on that battle, and he does have double forge, so we will be seeing double upgrades come in for EGHuK, and even warping in some extra units right there. Only sitting on 3 gateways, as EGHuK is just focusing way too much on this aggression. Even another DT was warped in and was causing troubles down here for MKP, making MKP spend all that energy on scans instead of mules. However, this well-placed turret will make it so that DT is detected, and these Marines will get that killed. Stalkers in the middle of the map now going to try to prevent this factory scout from getting to EGHuK's base. And EGHuK now getting that 1-1, even getting charge, and trying to expand to his 3rd base. So this 3rd base will be out quite a bit faster than MKP's. However, MKP does have a push out going towards EGHuK's base right now, and the real question is, does EGHuK have an answer for it? As of right now, I'm not entirely sure. His force isn't looking that big. The supply advantage is in MKP's favor, and this is EGHuK's force right here, and it's going to take some excellent micro. However, there's going to be a drop into the dust on this part of the base of EGHuK. However, that observer did scan it, and there's a stim in coming, and they'll go over here to see how many probes can get. However, a nice pull from EGHuK, and the DT is down here attacking the main army. However, a scan did stop it, and now the force of EGHuK is trying to make its way through all the buildings, and a nice little surround there with the zealots. However, a pickup with the medevacs can happen at any time. Tried to kill the Nexus with only 27 HP remaining, and now MKP's main army is up front here doing a quick scan to make sure they do get all of the DTs, even probes here to try to help with the battle. But as you can see, it did force EGHuK to lose 20 probes right there. That was a lot of probes going down there for EGHuK, and this little attack from MKP is causing EGHuK lots of damage right now. As you can see, losing a pylon, some gateways are powered down and almost killing the Nexus. 20 probes are down, but another DT here. It seems like it's going to be the hero DT. No, there was a scan. There was enough energy for a scan, and oh my gosh, another drop in the main base for MKP. There is just action going on everywhere right now from MKP. He's attacking from every point possible, making the Protoss forces just have to be everywhere. And it looks like another drop is going to be coming in here for MKP as it makes its way to the southern position of EGHuK's base. However, for right now, it does seem like the attacking has subsided for a few short moments. However, here's the drop, and all the probes are being pulled for EGHuK, and they're going to try to start taking down that drop, and they will get away. Those medevacs, one just barely living with 18 HP remaining, and MKP going to go ahead and rally up here in the middle of the map again, but a DT going to cause him tons of problems as those DTs are being quite cost effective. Each DT has got multiple kills and has forced a scan, so these DTs paying for themselves quite well, even forcing MKP to stem back to his base. Like, that is actually a huge win there for EGHuK. And what is this DT going to do now? Is there something going on over here? Oh, they're just going off. Oh, will he kill off this pylon? I don't know. EGHuK is even warping in to try to save it. The DT is gone. It ran right into the missile turret. And another pylon will be going down. And another DT being warped in by EGHuK. EGHuK putting a lot of eggs into this DT basket. And so unfortunately, it came to save the pylon, but the pylon is already dead. And MKP going to go ahead and wrap up that pylon as well. MKP not taking a third base right now. However, he is going to land that and take both his gases. So speaking of the devil of that third base, he is going to go ahead and grab it. The upgrades are 1-1 for MKP at the moment and 1-1 for EGHuK. However, both players are about exactly the same when it comes to upgrades. 2-2 is going to be finishing at about the exact same time. However, EGHuK will have a 2-2 advantage there for a moment. Two DTs are going to be warped in, probably be morphed into an Archon, I would assume. No, he's actually just going to go ahead and send those straight to MKP's base, forcing even more scans. Third base did land here for MKP, so we will be seeing that get saturated and finally catch up to EGHuK's economic lead. And these rocks look like they're going to be going down here. Does EGHuK know about it? I don't think he does. So EGHuK might just lose his third base here as MKP decides to stem in. And here we go. He's going to go straight for that Nexus. The Nexus is falling awful fast. He will lose that. And MKP says that's enough and gets out of there. So any advantage EGHuK had, he has just lost, as MKP does have his third base. However, a DT, pesky DT, getting in here, causing lots of damage over here at MKP's third. If we look at the units lost tab, it is 22 to 15 workers killed. Both players causing lots of harassment damage, and that is a lot of zealots. And they do have charge. He's going to go for it. Does get one Marine, and that Marauder is barely hanging on to the skin on his teeth. And there are the Stalkers to back up this huge gateway force. But EGHuK does decide to pull back. He doesn't want to go ahead and engage just yet. And Ghost production has started for MKP. So a nice EMP on a huge Zealot army like that, and it might spell disaster for EGHuK, especially without any Templar on the field. This may be really bad here for EGHuK. Since there is Ghosts on the field, that means he either needs to tech into Colossi or get High Templar on the field to do feedbacks and storms. However, he is grabbing the double robotics facility right here. So I'm assuming we're going to see a support bay, or not a support bay, that's what it's called in Brood War. A robotics, I don't remember what it's called, robotics bay maybe, yeah. So we got two robo facilities and a robo bay coming down, and we should be seeing double pumping those Colossus. Where is it at? Where is that pesky robo bay? There it is. So we will be seeing that. And there actually isn't any Vikings on the field right now, but I don't think it matters because MKP is going to start making his way across the map right now. And look at all the Ghosts in that composition. A few good EMPs, and this could spell disaster for EGHuK. Supplies are fairly equal at this time. 3 Archons are going to be warped in, but they're in terrible positions. They're already being shot down. And here we go. This is going to be one hell of an engagement coming in right here. And I just disabled the sound, and now the Zealots are all running in. And if we turn on the health bars, which I think is H, you can see that there were very good EMPs on all of those Zealots. And I don't know if EGHuK is going to be able to hold this. Those were excellent force fields, though, cutting MKP's army in half. There is a few DTs in there to do extra damage, as MKP has not scanned yet. And EGHuK is actually going to hold right here. However, a nice pickup from MKP does bring the units into the main base, escaping all of the Zealots with the blink forward. Did get a few of those medevacs killed, however, the Stalkers weren't enough, and now MKP is going for the Nexus in the main base, and it does fall. And a nice pickup there from MKP as he tries to leave the base with the remaining units and medevacs that he has. Nice hold there by EGHuK, considering he only had gateway units. However, he is very far behind. He got not only one gateway, or excuse me, not a gateway, a nexus, most of HuK's army, and HuK's income right now is probably not where it needs to be. As you can see, MKP is almost double the mineral income that HuK even has. We head over to the production tab. MKP is even going up to 3-3, and HuK actually already at 3-2, even getting that one shield in there. And MKP's bio army just continuously keeps getting bigger and bigger, and with those ghosts added into it, it's going to annihilate this gateway army once again. As we can see, MKP is pushing out here and taking the third base in the middle, which this is the GSL version, which means we will not see any gold minerals in the middle of the map. And finally, some Colossus are in production. 3 are on the field, about to have 4. And this is actually really good for HuK, seeing that MKP doesn't have any Vikings. And here we go. It looks like HuK is going to push up the middle of the map right now. However, MKP does have the Zelnaga. That's where his army is positioned, and he'll be completely ready to attack this army. And is HuK actually going to get away with snaking to the right-hand side? MKP says no, stems forward to see what he can see, and the scan does go down, and a good few EMPs on the Colossus. The Colossus have no shields right now. However, all the Zealots are fully shielded and are massacring this army. The splitting by MKP is very, very good. And this looks very much like HuK could push and break this hold that the Terran had on the middle of the map. MKP actually fleeing back right now. All the Zealots once again charging forward, and a few good hits there from the Colossus will keep this army very small. The Colossus have nothing attacking them right now. There's no Vikings on the field, and these Zealots and the Colossus are just causing massive, massive damage to this bio force. As you can see, Viking production has started, and there was a forced liftoff of the command center in the middle of the base. However, HuK has no anti-air and is going to be forced to continue to push forward. He isn't going to be able to pick off that command center. And here we go. He's going to run forward, and the Colossus are taking out all the ghosts. The Colossus have no shields, and there's now 2 Vikings on the field. However, HuK only has 1 Stalker that has already been eliminated, so nothing's going to be able to take out that Viking. One Archon was warped in, and we do have the Bioforce pushing forward. Is it going to be enough? HuK's going to have to be forced to turn around because of Concussive Shell, and the Zealots are marching forward, and another warping of Zealots is going to arrive to help support this army. And MKP with those two more Vikings on the field, and here we go, another engagement. There's only 1 more Colossus on the field, and some more DTs coming in from the back here to help support this army. All the Colossus are down. All that's left are Zealots and this DT, and it looks like MKP is going to win this battle. If we head over to HuK's base, HuK does not have an army. He has a DT. He wasn't producing Colossus. He just didn't have the economy for it. Does warp in 3 sentries and a few more DTs. However, MKP has an army. He's got mass barracks production going right now, including Viking production. There's so many medevacs right now. The supply lead is so far in MKP's favor, it's ridiculous. If we head to the units tab, we can see it's 74 probes to 43 SCVs, and MKP's supply is still ahead. So that shows you how much of that supply is in army compared to HuK. HuK is in a very serious situation right now, and if he doesn't do something with these DTs, like, actually, I don't even think the DTs matter. I think he could kill 100 SCVs right now, and he would still be behind. HuK is going to have to micro his way to victory. But versus someone like MKP, that's going to be literally almost impossible. And that DT causing so much trouble. However, a nice scan does pick it off. And another DT. There is just so many DTs making this Terran army dance left and right now in the middle of this map. It's hilarious. And HuK is warping in a few more Archons, but once again, this supply isn't so far in MKP's favor, and I think he knows it. I think he smells blood right now. I think he wants it. He wants this victory, but he is going to go ahead and play safe. He wants to push forward so bad because he keeps moving that army forward and pulling it back. Moving it forward, pulling it back. And I think he's going for it, guys. He's going to go ahead and start splitting up in case there are High Templar or Colossus. And look at that awesome split and concave as MKP makes his way towards HuK's main base. HuK is so far out of position down here at the bottom right. I don't know what HuK's going to do as MKP goes in to start engaging this force here. I shouldn't even say force this base. Yeah, HuK's going to try to force a base trade here. However, you should never force a base trade with Terran. MKP's just going to walk in here, kill all these Protoss buildings as HuK is just trying desperately right now to win this game. But I don't think it's going to happen because Terran can lift buildings, they can get out of there. And, you know, Protoss, not so much, and there's even Vikings on the field. This is not something HuK wants to do right now. It would have been better if he would have had a direct engagement. However, once again, the army supply is just way too far in MKP's favor for HuK to take a direct engagement. So I guess this is basically the best he could ask for, but it's just not going to be enough. As you can see, HuK barely has anything of a base left. There's no more Nexus left on the field. He doesn't have enough money to build one, and this army is ripping through the Protoss macro right now. Like, look, he's already got a CC moving over here to this side of the map as a sort of a ninja. And HuK's actually bringing all his probes back and his army. I think he's actually going to try to engage this army. I don't know that that's the best idea for HuK. I mean, even with all these probes in the front, it's going to be very difficult to take out an army like this. He does have EMPs ready, and even using an EMP to take out a Dark Templar right there. This is going to be one hell of a battle, and if HuK can win this, that would be insane. He does have a nice split and a good concave, however, MKP smart, backing up to the ramp. And here we go, MKP is going to start moving forward, even landing the Vikings. EMPs do go off on the left and right side. All the shields have been neutralized, very few remain. Force fields to try to split the army in half, however, that's nothing HuK can do, and that Terran force annihilated all those probes and gateway units. And a very, very good game there from HuK and MKP. It kept going and going. HuK doing amazing play with the Dark Templar. Constant harassment, killing off all those units and SCVs. But in the end, MKP with the better micro, and I would honestly say almost the better macro that game. He did take a while to take his third base. However, the unit production was insane. And let's go to game 2 of the special.